Tom Girardi was a name that resonated through the legal corridors of Los Angeles, a city where power, money, and influence often mingle with scandal. For decades, he was a celebrated attorney, a man who took on big corporations and won substantial settlements for his clients. But beneath the veneer of success and philanthropy lay a web of deceit that would eventually unravel, leading to one of the most shocking legal scandals in recent history. Hello, aloha, bonjour, hola, hallo, hujambo, marhaba, ni hao, namaste everyone. Welcome to Crime Watch Vault. We explore true crime stories, both solved and unsolved, as well as financial fraud and intriguing mysteries. All content is based on public domain information. If you're interested, subscribe and click the notification bell for updates. Today's story is about how Tom Girardi, once a beacon of justice, fell from grace and became a symbol of greed and corruption. Let's start from the beginning. Girardi was born on June 3, 1939, in Denver, Colorado. Raised in a modest household, Girardi's early life was not marked by privilege or excess. Instead, it was his ambition and intellect that set him apart. He moved to Los Angeles to pursue his education and attended Loyola Marymount University, where he completed his undergraduate studies. From there, Girardi went on to Loyola Law School, graduating in 1964. His legal career began with the promise of a bright future, marked by a fierce dedication to his clients and a talent for litigation. After passing the bar, Girardi quickly established himself in the legal community. He co-founded the law firm Girardi & Keese in Los Angeles, which became known for taking on high-profile cases, particularly in the field of personal injury law. Girardi's early successes were built on his ability to connect with juries and his unwavering commitment to securing justice for his clients. His reputation as a tough, relentless attorney grew, and so did his influence. Tom Girardi's rise to fame can be largely attributed to a single case that would forever change his career. In 1993, Girardi took on the case of the residents of Hinckley, California, against the Pacific Gas and Electric Company, PG&E. The residents claimed that PG&E had contaminated their groundwater with hexavalent chromium, a toxic chemical known to cause cancer and other serious health problems. The case was brought to Girardi's attention by Erin Brockovich, a legal assistant who played a crucial role in gathering evidence and bringing the plight of the Hinckley residents to the forefront. Girardi saw the potential in the case, not just in terms of the legal battle, but also in the broader implications of corporate accountability. He took on the case with vigor, and after years of litigation, PG&E agreed to settle for $333 million, the largest settlement ever paid in a direct action lawsuit in US history at that time. The victory in the Erin Brockovich case catapulted Girardi to national fame. He was lauded as a champion for the underdog, a lawyer who wasn't afraid to take on powerful corporations and hold them accountable for their actions. The case was later dramatized in the 2000 film Erin Brockovich, starring Julia Roberts, which further cemented Girardi's status as a legal legend. The settlement not only brought financial security to the affected families, but also positioned Girardi as one of the most successful attorneys in the country. Following the success of the Erin Brockovich case, Girardi & Keese expanded rapidly. The firm took on a variety of mass tort and class action lawsuits, representing large groups of plaintiffs against powerful corporations. Girardi's reputation for winning substantial settlements made him a sought-after attorney, and his firm quickly became one of the most prominent in the country. Girardi's success was reflected in his lifestyle. He lived a life of luxury, with multiple properties, expensive cars, and a collection of high-end art. His marriage to Erika Jayne, a singer and reality television star, further elevated his public profile. The couple was featured on the reality TV show The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where their extravagant lifestyle was showcased for millions of viewers. The image of success, wealth, and influence that Girardi projected was undeniable, but it was also a facade that would soon begin to crack. Despite the firm's outward success, there were signs that not everything was as it seemed. Some clients began to complain about delays in receiving their settlements, while others claimed that they had not been paid at all. These issues were often dismissed or explained away, but they hinted at deeper problems within Girardi and Keyes. The firm was taking on more cases than it could handle, and the pressure to maintain its reputation for winning large settlements was beginning to take a toll. As Girardi and Keyes continued to grow, so did the complexity of its financial operations. The firm was handling millions of dollars in settlements, but there were increasing reports of clients not receiving their payments on time or at all. Behind the scenes, Girardi was engaging in questionable financial practices, using client funds to support his lavish lifestyle and to keep the firm afloat. One of the early signs of trouble came in the form of a lawsuit filed by a former client who claimed that Girardi had failed to pay her the full amount of her settlement. The lawsuit was settled out of court, but it marked the beginning of a pattern that would become increasingly common. Girardi and Keyes was facing mounting debts, and the firm was struggling to meet its financial obligations. To cover these shortfalls, Girardi began using new client settlements to pay off old debts, effectively operating what amounted to a Ponzi scheme. Despite these financial issues, Girardi's lifestyle remained unchanged. He and Erika Jayne continued to live in luxury, spending millions on their homes, cars, and other extravagances. Girardi's public persona as a successful attorney who could provide his wife with anything she desired was at odds with the reality of the firm's financial situation. The cracks in the facade were growing, and it was only a matter of time before everything came crashing down. The tipping point in Tom Girardi's downfall came with his involvement in the litigation following the Lion Air Flight 610 crash in October 2018. The crash involved a Boeing 737 MAX aircraft and resulted in the deaths of all 189 people on board. The tragedy led to numerous lawsuits against Boeing, with Girardi representing several of the victims' families. In 2020, a settlement was reached with Boeing, and Girardi's clients were awarded substantial sums of money. However, instead of dispersing the settlement funds to the families, Girardi allegedly diverted the money for his own use. According to court documents, he used the funds to pay off personal debts and to maintain his luxurious lifestyle, leaving the families without the compensation they were owed. The families of the Lion Air victims, many of whom were based in Indonesia, began to raise concerns when they did not receive their settlements. Their suspicions were confirmed when they hired a new attorney to investigate, leading to the discovery that the funds had been misappropriated. This revelation marked the beginning of the end for Tom Girardi. The legal fallout from the Lion Air case was swift and severe. In December 2020, a federal judge in Chicago froze Girardi's assets, citing concerns that he had embezzled settlement funds meant for the victims' families. This action was followed by a series of lawsuits from former clients, creditors, and business partners, all seeking to recover the money they were owed. In January 2021, Girardi was forced into involuntary bankruptcy, with his creditors seeking to recover millions of dollars in unpaid debts. The bankruptcy proceedings exposed the full extent of Girardi's financial mismanagement. According to court documents, he owed more than $100 million to various creditors, including former clients, business partners, and lenders. The bankruptcy also revealed that Girardi and Keyes had been deeply insolvent for years, with debts far exceeding the firm's assets. As the legal battles raged on, Girardi's personal life became the subject of intense public scrutiny. In November 2020, just as the allegations of embezzlement were becoming public, Erika Jayne filed for divorce from Girardi. The timing of the divorce raised eyebrows, with many speculating that it was a strategic move to protect assets from creditors. Erika Jayne's involvement in the scandal became a major storyline on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where she continued to appear despite the legal drama. The show portrayed her as struggling to come to terms with the revelations about her husband's actions, but many viewers and legal observers questioned the extent of her knowledge and involvement. Did she benefit from the embezzled funds? Was she aware of her husband's misconduct? These questions loomed large as the scandal unfolded. Investigators began to scrutinize Erika Jayne's financial records, looking for any evidence that she had received or benefited from the misappropriated funds. Some of Girardi's creditors and former clients filed lawsuits against her, alleging that the money used to fund her lavish lifestyle had been stolen from them. These allegations added another layer of complexity to the legal proceedings, as Erika Jayne sought to distance herself from her husband's actions while defending her own finances in court. Despite her denials of any wrongdoing, Erika Jayne found herself at the center of the scandal. The public and media fascination with the case was fueled by the contrast between the couple's glamorous public image and the sordid details of the legal proceedings. As the lawsuits piled up, Erika Jayne faced the possibility of losing much of her wealth as creditors sought to recover the funds they believed had been wrongfully taken from them. With the bankruptcy proceedings underway, the collapse of Girardi and Jayne was inevitable. The firm, once a powerhouse in the legal world, was dismantled as its assets were sold off to pay creditors. The employees of Girardi and Jayne, many of whom had been loyal to Girardi for years, were left without jobs, and in some cases, without their promised salaries and benefits. The fall of Girardi and Jayne was a shock to the legal community in Los Angeles and beyond. For decades, the firm had been a symbol of success and prestige, but it had all been built on a foundation of financial mismanagement and fraud. The firm's downfall served as a stark reminder of the potential for abuse within the legal system, where attorneys have access to vast sums of money and are entrusted with the financial futures of their clients. As the bankruptcy process continued, the court-appointed trustee worked to identify and recover any remaining assets that could be used to pay off Girardi's creditors. This process was complicated by the fact that many of Girardi's assets had been transferred to Erika Jayne or hidden in various financial accounts. The trustee faced the daunting task of untangling the complex web of financial transactions that Girardi had used to obscure his wealth. In the end, the bankruptcy proceedings resulted in the liquidation of Girardi and Jayne's assets, with the proceeds being distributed to creditors. However, the amount recovered was only a fraction of what was owed, leaving many of Girardi's former clients and business partners with significant losses. The legal battles over these funds are ongoing, with creditors continuing to pursue any remaining assets that might be recoverable. The Girardi scandal also exposed significant failures within the State Bar of California, the agency responsible for regulating attorneys and ensuring that they adhere to ethical standards. It was revealed that the State Bar had received numerous complaints about Girardi's conduct over the years, but had failed to take appropriate action. This failure allowed Girardi to continue practicing law and engaging in financial misconduct without facing any meaningful consequences. The State Bar's handling of the complaints against Girardi became a major point of controversy. Critics argued that the agency had been too lenient on Girardi because of his status and connections within the legal community. There were allegations that Girardi had used his influence and wealth to avoid discipline, further highlighting the potential for corruption within the regulatory system. In response to the scandal, the State Bar launched an investigation into its handling of the complaints against Girardi. The investigation revealed a number of systemic issues, including a lack of transparency in the disciplinary process and a failure to adequately investigate serious allegations of misconduct. The State Bar vowed to implement reforms to address these issues and restore public trust in the legal profession. The Girardi case also prompted broader discussions about the need for increased oversight of attorneys and greater protections for clients. Legal experts and advocacy groups called for changes to the way client funds are handled and for stricter penalties for attorneys who engage in financial misconduct. These reforms are seen as essential to preventing another case like Girardi's from happening in the future. As the full extent of Girardi's misconduct came to light, it became clear that criminal charges were inevitable. In June 2022, Girardi was indicted on multiple counts of wire fraud, embezzlement, and other financial crimes. The indictment alleged that Girardi had orchestrated a scheme to defraud his clients and creditors by misappropriating settlement funds and using them for his own personal gain. In the lead-up to the trial, Girardi's health became a significant issue. In early 2021, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, and his legal team argued that he was not competent to stand trial. This diagnosis added another layer of complexity to the case, as the court had to determine whether Girardi was fit to face the charges against him. Despite his diagnosis, many of Girardi's victims and their families continued to seek justice, arguing that his health should not excuse him from being held accountable for his actions. These actions was felt by the clients who had trusted him with their cases. Many of these clients were individuals who had already suffered immense personal tragedies, such as the loss of a loved one in an accident or a life-altering injury due to corporate negligence. For these clients, the settlements they were awarded were not just about money. They were about achieving a measure of justice and financial security after enduring unimaginable hardship. The discovery that Girardi had stolen their settlement funds was a devastating blow. Many of his former clients were left financially ruined, unable to pay for medical bills, housing, or other basic needs. Some lost their homes, their savings, and their ability to support themselves, while others were forced to relive their trauma as they fought to recover the money that was rightfully theirs. The families of the Lion Air victims were among those hardest hit by Girardi's actions. For these families, the settlement money represented not just financial compensation, but a way to honor the memory of their loved ones and rebuild their lives. The discovery that this money had been stolen added another layer of pain to an already unimaginable tragedy. These families were left to navigate a complex and confusing legal process, seeking justice in a system that had already failed them once. In the aftermath of the scandal, some of Girardi's former clients banded together to pursue legal action against him, seeking to recover their stolen funds. While some were able to secure partial settlements through the bankruptcy proceedings, others were left with little hope of ever seeing the money they were owed. The human cost of Girardi's actions was incalculable, leaving a trail of broken lives and shattered trust in its wake. The guilty verdict, delivered on August 27, 2024, marked a pivotal moment in the ongoing saga of Tom Girardi, once one of the most prominent attorneys in Los Angeles. Found guilty of embezzling more than $15 million from his clients and convicted on 4 counts of wire fraud, Girardi now faces the harsh reality of spending the remainder of his life behind bars. This verdict not only closed a chapter on Girardi's storied and now tarnished career, but also set the stage for numerous ripple effects that will continue to unfold in the legal world and beyond. At his age, the sentencing, likely to include a substantial prison term, could effectively amount to life imprisonment. The verdict signals the end of Girardi's long career in the legal profession, leaving behind a legacy marred by greed and corruption. His conviction also serves as a stark warning to the legal community about the importance of ethical conduct and the dangers of unchecked power. As the legal proceedings move towards sentencing, attention also turns to Girardi's estranged wife, Erika Jayne. The star of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills has been embroiled in her own legal battles as a result of her connection to Girardi. Throughout the scandal, Jayne has maintained that she was unaware of her husband's financial misdeeds. However, the guilty verdict against Girardi has intensified the scrutiny on her, with many questioning the extent of her knowledge and involvement. The impact of the verdict on Erika Jayne is likely to be profound. Already facing multiple lawsuits from creditors and former clients of Girardi, Jayne may find herself further entangled in legal proceedings as victims seek to recover their losses. The verdict strengthens the position of those who argue that assets transferred to Jayne during her marriage to Girardi were part of the embezzled funds. This could lead to increased pressure on Jayne to settle these lawsuits or face the possibility of losing much of her remaining wealth. In addition to the financial fallout, the guilty verdict also carries significant personal and professional consequences for Jayne. Her public image, already damaged by her association with the scandal, may suffer further as the legal drama continues to unfold. The ongoing litigation and potential loss of assets could also impact her career in entertainment, where her lavish lifestyle and larger-than-life persona have been key elements of her public persona. The guilty verdict has broader implications for the legal profession as well. The Girardi case has exposed significant flaws in the oversight of attorneys, particularly those who handle large sums of money on behalf of their clients. The scandal has prompted calls for increased transparency in the management of client funds, stricter penalties for attorneys who engage in financial misconduct, and greater protections for clients. The legal community will likely continue to grapple with these issues in the wake of Girardi's conviction, as it seeks to restore public trust in the profession. Thank you for watching this video. What are your thoughts on the guilty verdict and its impact on everyone involved, especially Erika Jayne? We'd love to hear your opinions, so please share your comments in the section below. Till next time, bye for now.